to 7.2 million. You couldn't find two products more different than bespoke financial deals that fuel high-tech investments and surf equipment inspired by Polynesian sailors. But David started thinking about whether a shorter workweek could be implemented at Blue Street Capital, too. He had run Blue Street since 2003, and after a couple brutal quarters, he was looking for ways for the company to improve and start taking on challenges again, rather than just responding to them. He had dedicated workers, but if we took out our breaks, took out our lunch, and took out all the unproductive nonsense that we do over the course of the day, he thought they could compress the workday to 5 hours. They'd need to figure out how to keep customers happy during a shorter workday. Companies depend on Blue Street Capital to help them finance mission-critical upgrades or expansions. And since every deal is different, his employees spend a lot of time on the phone to clients. But he was sure they could figure it out. We knew it would be a huge productivity tool for the business, David says, but we also knew we were going to get part of our lives back. Business Development Manager Alex Gafford remembers David announcing the 5-hour day at an all-hands meeting. I was kind of burned out that day, Alex tells me. It was after lunch, I'm tired, and I'm going to be in the office till at least 5 o'clock doing emails and calls and stuff. David says, "All right, at the end of this meeting, everybody can go home for the day," Alex remembers. We look at each other like, what? It was unexpected. Then David says, "Hold on, let me explain what we're going to do. We're going to try a 90-day experiment." David explained the idea, talked about tower paddleboards, and explained why he wanted to try a 5-hour day. "I want you to have the lifestyle that I have," Alex recalls him saying, "and I believe that you'll be as successful as I am or more successful as a result." David answered a few questions. No, salaries wouldn't be cut. No, the company wasn't about to go under. Yes, the new schedule would become permanent after 90 days if productivity remained the same and if customers didn't complain. As one of the company's leading sales managers, Alex knew that the summer was a slow period at Blue Street, so it was a good time to start a trial. During the trial, there were not really any other instructions, Alex recalls. We had to figure it out on our own. David had advice he had picked up from productivity experts. Avoid multitasking, focus most of your effort on your most valuable work, take quick, purposeful breaks to stretch the muscles and get the blood flowing, but people were largely left to their own devices. A single quarter wasn't enough time to see a big change in revenue. In contrast to tower paddleboards, Blue Street Capital has a long sales cycle. But after 3 months, David could measure the impact of 5-hour days on their leading key performance indicator, KPI, the number of calls per salesperson. More calls means more business. Working the phones, staying in touch with clients, and pitching to new customers is essential if people are going to meet their sales targets and the company is going to grow. What did he find? When they cut the length of the work week by 3/8, calls per person actually doubled. How did they do it? Alex says that it wasn't any single thing that helped them be more efficient. That steep increase in productivity was made from a bunch of little steps, not one giant one. A couple people had actually quit because after years of working long hours, they couldn't give up the idea that 60-hour weeks were the price of success and didn't like having to be so careful with their working time. It was a culture shift for the whole business, David says. David made the new schedule permanent after 3 months in late 2016, and Blue Street has operated on an 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. schedule ever since. After 3 years, revenues have gone up every year, 30% the first year, 30% the second, and the company has grown from 9 to 17 employees. Few things sound more Southern California than let's shorten the workday to have more time to surf. But shortening the workday to boost productivity and improve the company, that's pretty counterintuitive. When you get a late-night email from a boss or a last-minute request from a client, you don't think, I know how to deal with this. I'll take Friday off. You don't prove your dedication and passion by leaving work early.